But as always, go ahead and like and subscribe. I'm JDZ. I play
Edison.
This game is about optimization and speed.
Hello and welcome to UI headquarters. To kick off the channel, we've got a conversation with the GOAT of GOAT format himself. Can we say that?
please,
are we allowed
please
to say that?
Please don't. Oh my goodness, I don't like. No, I'm kidding. You can. If you want to say it, I won't say it.
It's my good friend, close friend, Jdz, aka Jdz Plays GOAT, aka the quadruple DZ, aka the official GOATformat.com content creator, tournament hoster, and commentator. You guys all know what the vibe is.
Thanks for the beautiful introduction, by the way. I do appreciate that.
Oh, only the best for, like I said, the GOAT of GOAT format. Now, what some people might not know about you, though, is that when you're not bound by the shackles of the commentary booth, you're a certified MVP duelist.
Oh,
I mean, at this point, I'm thinking anyone signing up for a GOAT pod at any of the Pacific Northwest events has to accept that they'll be taking an L if you're showing up. And there's rumors are flying around that Konami are running out of mats to give you. Is this true? Is this true?
Oh my goodness, you are killing me. But yes, indoors. In the rare instances when I get to remove the commentator headset and get out into the IRL space and play some GOAT format Yu-Gi-Oh, I take those opportunities, and they usually come in the form of side events. I go to GGP sometimes. Those side events, man, I clean up pretty good, man. So you might be onto something. I don't know.
You do clean up. You do clean up. Well, even fewer people will know about you, JDZ. You know, the tagline, Jdz Plays GOATs, that's where we started. Content creator for GOAT format.
Right.
You are a secret savant within the Edison community.
Oh, goodness.
So you went undefeated in Edison War League. You just recently finished 6th out of however many players that was. At the Deck Dev tournament? Over 100 players, close to 200 players. And the only reason you didn't go to day 2 was because you dropped. You'd finished 6th, you'd gone on an incredible run, and lucky for everyone else in that tournament, you dropped. And not only that, while I was planning this video, you went to YCS Vancouver. Now, could you just tell me, just fill me in on what happened at YCS Vancouver, please?
It was a beautiful event. I enjoyed my time there. YCS Vancouver. If you haven't had a chance to go to a YCS, please take that. But there were side events there too, and you know I'm a side event menace, and I entered into an Edison side event, won that, into a GOAT side event, won that. It was a fantastic event. I had a blast. I had a phenomenal time there.
So we got a double win, back-to-back wins, signing up for all the pods, and this time you left the Pacific Northwest, you crossed the border, and you terrorized Canada. You set foot in Canada and you cleaned house as usual. So, given your background in GOAT format and the absolute tear that you've been going on in all these Edison side events and online, literally nowhere is safe. I kind of wanted to hear what your thoughts were on Edison just as a whole. And get some insight into your tournament experience, so both in real life and online. Did you play the same deck that you've been playing at this IRL Edison thing?
I did. First, I gotta say that you're absolutely killing me. By the way, the hype is too high. I don't think I can live to the expectations in which you are.
We're not coming down. We're not coming down, baby.
You gotta titrate that.
We're keeping it pumping.
You're going up. Okay, we need that to come down because you are blowing me up too high, and it is not even close to any of that. But yes, to answer your question, when I play Edison, I'm just learning how to play. I literally do not know how to play the format. I am literally just learning how to play Edison format. And in the time that I was learning, I only picked up the one deck so far, and that is the deck that I've been playing online, and that's also the deck that I play IRL when in the opportunities I have to play.
We're not going to dive too deep into the deck itself or the card choices, but I do want to start off by asking, it is Quick Draw, the deck that you've picked.
Yes.
And what is it about Quick Draw as a deck that drew you to it, and when you started playing Edison you thought, okay, this is the deck I want to fuck around with?
You know me, man. For me, I like the icon type decks, the Go controls, the Quick Draw, very mid deck. Maybe I'm just attracted to the mid. I don't know why. So as I'm looking at and I'm watching all the Keegan's videos, huge shout out to Keegan. I'm watching Beast Mode's videos. I'm just absorbing all of this Edison information and watching replays, and I'm in the War League and I'm watching all the films, and I'm watching, Fraser Smith. I'm just seeing the vibes. And as I'm looking at these duels play and I'm seeing the cards that they're using, how I would do it is I'd see someone playing a deck that I think I could play, and I would just watch them do the replay, and I'm like, okay, this is what I would do in this position, and they would do something completely different, and I would just misplay like immediately, like every turn.
So no secondhand misplaying, not even sitting in the driver's seat. You're in the passenger seat.
I'm in the back seat. Like, I'm not even driving the car. So I'm looking at the hand. They have 6 cards. They do X, Y, Z, and I'm like 1, 2, 9. I'm way off. So I'm like, okay. And I watch a different deck. Same thing. And it was just me misplaying constantly and just missing lines and missing plays. And I'm like, well, this is too hard. I don't want to. All these, it's complicated for me as a Go format player coming in. So I started listening to Beast Mode and some of the other high level players. And they're like, hey, Quick Draw is very similar to Go format. Quick Draw, it's very similar. And I'm like, okay, well, I can give that a shot. And I would watch people play the Quick Draw strategy, rarely whenever it comes up. And I'm like, I see their hand and I see the plays they make. I'm like, oh, I would do that. That's what I would do. Oh, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. And then it would get to the point where I would get through a complete game or a complete match and like, hey, 95% of those turns are the plays that I would have made. So maybe this is a deck I should play. So that's when I picked it up, and it just kind of speaks to me, like as a deck and as the cards, and I like the way that all the cards look. That's a huge component of me. As you know me, man. If the cards didn't look the way they look, if Dandy didn't look so cool and Quick Draw didn't look so cool, and if Lone Fire Blossom and Titanium, if those cards didn't look cool, I wouldn't play the deck.
It's the tokens, isn't it?
It's the tokens. Token.
Especially IRL. You're already packing those scapegoat tokens. You're like, well, I might as well put them to use.
I have scapegoats too. You can't play scapegoats in Edison. You get 1 copy, so I'll play scapegoats sometimes in the side deck, or sometimes I'll main deck scapegoats from time to time. Goats is my heart. Like, I love Go format. It is my number 1 format. It is what I do. Is what I love. But I love playing IRL. I love being out in the. If I could play current, I would play current, because there's always going to be opportunities to play current, but I just can't because I don't have the skills. The way things are going, there's just way more opportunities to play Edison IRL, and I enjoy playing IRL, so I'm gonna do what I got to do, man.
So talking about how much you love to play IRL, but also for the online tournament that you played in Deck Devastators, how was the overall tournament experience for you?
First, I gotta say, I would be remiss in my responsibilities if I didn't give a huge shout out to EdisonFormat.com and the whole Deck Devastator staff, Snack and everyone who did that, because they were going through some issues there, and everyone came together, fleshed that thing out super quick, got it knocked out. And again, I gotta give a huge shout out to the Edison Format community as a whole. Just seeing how it was such a huge turnout, and how when things went wrong, everyone was so patient. Everyone was so giving good vibes, good energy. And I just think when we host our events, sometimes I'm not trying to talk ill about our community at all, but when things start going wrong, people just start getting real malicious, dude.
They let you know about it. It
gets real like I'm already stressed out because the tournament's not going great. The bot's dying, challenge is blowing up, and all these things. And everyone just seemed so helpful and so peaceful, and everyone was just waiting, and it was really cool. In terms of the actual tournament itself, not trying to say anything negative, this is all positive energy, but I think just right now, where Edison format is, I think it needs more time. There needs to be more time, because a guy like me coming off the streets with the information that I have in the deck that I'm using, I shouldn't be able to beat anybody. Period.
It's too easy.
No, I'm not.
It's too easy.
That's
the next question.
that's the opposite. That's the opposite of what I'm saying. I'll say like this. In Go format, this thing has been around. People have been putting this thing under the microscope. People have been analyzing and studying and like getting the information out. The common Joe, like the regular milkman and plumber, as people call him, like the regular schmegular everyday working guy who's just picking up a Go format car, he will beat you. Like he will come in because they just know so much. They know how the game's supposed to go. They have that information and they can beat anybody. Like in Go, we have like the very, very top tier, S tier level players, and then there's everyone else. But that gap is small and it's shrinking to where the regular players are getting closer to those top tier players. Edison, you have like your Raw Knox, you have your Fraser Smiths, you have your 10FD, you have those guys, and then you have a huge gap, and then you have everyone else. And I think that it's going to take a little bit longer time to close that.
The IRL side of it, how was West Vancouver? How are the pods?
I can't stress enough, like to anyone who may be listening to this or seeing this, if you get a chance, go to a YCS. Even if you don't play the current game, you only play the side events, you only play retro, just go. There's so much to do. There's so many people to see, so many things to trade, and all kinds of. It's a really fun experience. In terms of pods, like I said before, like there is a fervor for Edison like I've never seen. Like it is just up and away, and I wish Goats could match some of that energy, but it's up in a way that I just can't describe. Like throughout that weekend, they fired like 25 to 30 Edison pods of duelists playing 8-man Edison pods, whereas Goats, they only had like maybe 8 or 9, but it was just up. Like people were out there to play. So I show up and I get into one of the first pods because I just, like I said, I want to play. And I just do my thing, man. I get out there and get busy, and it's just the same thing. It's just people who don't have as much information as I do, whose decks aren't built, as good as they could be, as optimized as they could be, and they're making, like I had some of the guys I played, like they made just severe misplays, like not just like, oh man, this is a misplay, oh I could have did that, I could have went left, but I should have went right. No, this is like, hey, if I do this I win, if I don't I lose type beats. You know what I'm saying? Like huge game ending,
driving
like
off the cliff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna and I was sitting there, I was watching, like when I wasn't playing I would watch other pods as they were going or watch other people playing. It was just happening left and right. I look at this guy's hand and look at the field, I look at the other guy's hand, and they were just like throwing, like both people were just like hot potato, just throwing all over the place. And I'm not saying like I am the perfect player. Like my game is flawed. Like I am bad at a lot of times, but I know the basics enough to be like, okay, this is what the game should look like. This is what I should do, type thing. And some people were just like, and I think it just comes with time. And again, I'm not trying to sound like a pompous, any elitist in any way. Like this is no shade at anyone. I think Ed is up, and I think it's. And I'm here for it. I'm fine. I'm fine with if that's how it's got to be. I'll keep playing Goats, but there is some room to grow competitively if that's where the game needs to go.
Some beautiful imagery in my head of you just sitting on the sidelines, just thinking, like, what the fuck is going on here? Do these guys want to win?
Dude, it was just like one. I'll give you a quick anecdote that just jumps off my mind that I could think about. But I remember I was sitting there and I was playing, so I'm doing my thing. They're playing like a dragon deck, the kind with Future Fusion. You got the Wyverns, you got the Red Meds, you got all this stuff. They're playing that deck, and I'm playing Quick Draw. So I'm sitting there. And like something happens, I have Dandy set up in the graveyard already. The guy kills my Sangan. I grab Debris Dragon. He's got a whole board full of dudes. His whole board is set up. Like he's got OTK literally the very next turn. Like he's going to win the game. And it's like the game's over. And he has the prime material dude on the field. I'm like, dude, I'm finished. Like there's nothing I could do. And then he sets his last card, Spell Trap, on the field, and he sets a monster in defense position. No cards in hand. I summon the Breed Dragon, I get the Dandy, I make Black Rose Dragon, I blow up his whole situation, and he has no way to stop it. Like, because he put all his cards down, because you got to discard for the prime material guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and that was it. Like he blew up his whole situation's gone, and I'm just sitting there, and I just like beat him down with Titania or something like a few turns later, and it's like, That's not me. That's not me beating anyone. That's not me like being good. Like I'm not. I don't deserve that. That's not me being good at anything. Like that's his fault. Like what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? So it's just like stuff like that. And I guarantee in like the higher contested, like competitive echelons of Edison, a play like something like that would never happen. Because in GOAT's the same way. Like our IRL game and our online game, they're miles apart. It's just in terms of just people being ready or people knowing the decks being tuned and people just following the game. The IRL game is behind. Edison is no different there, but as new people are coming in, because people feel the hype, they see MBTs talking about it, they see Nim and all these high powered YouTube content creators are pushing Edison, and they're like, oh well, MBT likes it, it's got to be good, and they try it and they have no idea about the format at all. They just vibing. They're just vibing and vibing, and then they get out there and it's like, damn, as long as everyone's having a good time, I think that's priority number one.
You just spent, a week watching MBT videos. You're like, you know what, Edison, the current's not for me. Maybe I'll play Edison. And you show up to YCS, Vancouver. You've been, maybe talking a bit of theory with your boys in the hotel room before you show up. And then you sit down, and the guy opposite you is wearing a Hawaiian shirt with goats on it, and he stomps the absolute piss out of you. And you think, maybe this isn't the game for me.
I mean, like I said, it's all gonna be love, man. It's all gonna be love.
So one of the things I definitely wanted to ask you. There's a lot of like rivalry between GOAT and Edison for whatever reason, as if both can't exist at the same time. They're both completely different formats. I personally enjoy playing them both, and I enjoy playing them both for completely different reasons. So just sort of like bridge some of the gaps, and usually we like to pump up the hate. Sometimes we like to pump up the hate. But let's reel the hate in a little bit. Let's do some mending. Now that you've played the format, what are the sort of misconceptions that you or other people would have had?
In terms of like a beef or growing disparity between GOAT and Edison, you will never see me on that time. Like I just don't have time for it. Edison does have a lot of good stuff going for it, as does GOAT. But to answer your second question, people sometimes say Edison is less sacky, or there's like a low amount of sack, because we have trend. Like if I full trend you turn 1 with Thunder Dragons, you're being sacked in 4K. Whereas Edison doesn't have those cards. But I'm telling you, you can get sacked into oblivion in Edison, and it hurts just as bad. Like it doesn't feel like good being sacked in anything, but it's a great format. It's a great format. Everything that people say about it, I think is true. I just would like to say, okay, there is sack involved in Edison. There is sack involved in GOAT. You can play whatever you want in Edison, but if someone is playing the meta, like people like to pretend like there's no like defined meta in Edison for some reason. At least on some echelon. I know some people keep it real, but there are decks that are much better than other decks. You got Vayu and Sirocco on your case and in your face. Some decks are just better. Other than that, I think everything else is pretty solid, man. It's a solid format. I have a blast when I'm playing it. But for me, I play Ghosts because of other reasons. Like there is a nostalgia push. There is a love that I have for these cards, and that's why I gotta stick with it. I think it is really funny though to hear some of the people's arguments that are anti-GOAT, pro Edison, or anti-Edison, pro GOAT, or anti whatever. Because even if like I was saying, I would sit there and I would talk to people at the YCS, or I talk to people playing GOAT. They got sacked because of XYZ. You talk to people who lost an Ed. Oh, I got sacked because they had this, and that. Oh, you talk to people who lost the speed duel side event. Oh, he weeviled my ass. And he had this, that, and that, and I lost. Oh, you talk to the person.
It's still Yu-Gi-Oh, baby.
You know what I'm saying? You talk to the person that played current. Oh man, he dimensional shifted my ass, and I couldn't even play. And I lost because he had this, that, and that. It's the same. It's literally the same. They have the cards. You don't have the cards. They win. You lose. That's it. And it doesn't matter what the format is. And I think that's so poetic, I would say, because it's across 25 years of being sacked in a nutshell.
25 years. 25 years. That is a beautiful note to end this. Thank you so much for dropping in, Jdz.
Of course, man.
It's been great to pick your brains. It's nice having you on the other side of the
I know. Hey, it does feel good to be over here, man. And UI all the way.
Yeah. If anyone listened to this, thank you. Love to you all. UI forever.